Many thanks for staying here on Joy News today. In our very first story, patients who went to the Upper West Regional Hospital for treatment this morning were left stranded. Nurses and midwives in that region have started full-scale industrial strike beginning today to press on the authorities to look into their concerns. Now, their concerns range from illegal deduction from the mutual health insurance scheme, promotions, steady leave, disregard for the chief nursing officer, and logistical constraints. This morning, they left patients stranded, including a 6-year-old child who was brought to the hospital convulsing. Rafiq Salam has more from WA.
These patients seated at the Upper West Regional Hospital, waiting to be attended to by either a nurse or a midwife, have been here for the past 3 hours with none attending to them. They look dejected and confused and wondering when they will really be attended to. Nurses and midwives at the hospital said they have started a full-scale industrial strike beginning today and will attend to patients who were admitted into the facility before today. For them to get their concerns addressed, they need to be tough, close their eyes to emergency cases, no matter the consequence. This they aptly demonstrated when this child suffering from convulsion was brought in. One of the nurses, with the heart of a mother, quickly dashed to attend to the child and was stopped in same measure by her colleagues. Even the clinical thermometer and the BP apparatus she was to use was taken away from her, which made some patients to flare up.
I'm sorry for saying that.
The Upper West branch of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association said they are satisfied with what happened so far.
Today is the final day for admissions to cease. So those patients that are on the ward, if we finish attending to them, that will be all of it.
Do you think that by this you can achieve your aim?
Yeah, sure. So if the patients are not attended to, whoever that is supposed to ensure that they are seen to them and also get our problem solved, they will have to do that.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Quite some disturbing news there. Still on health, according to the World Health Organization, WHO, diabetes kills 3.4 million people every year, and nearly 350 million people worldwide have the disease. Now, as part of measures to create awareness about the disease, World Diabetes Day is celebrated annually on November 14. This year's celebration is on the theme, Eyes on Diabetes. Charity Ashi, a dietitian at the 37 Military Hospital, explains how diabetes can prevent and manage the disease.
Dieting is very, very important because talking about diabetes, you are talking about blood glucose control. And the very glucose you want to control, before you can control it, you must know its source. Its source is from the food. So you cannot control diabetes without controlling the food you are taking. So food is very, very important. In some people, especially when at the onset, when it's not really very serious, they are not given any medication. All they need to do is to modify their diet. They are just referred to the dietitians to modify their diet, and that alone gets the thing corrected. You can keep it corrected as long as the person keep to the dietary modification. Over and over again, scientifically validated research findings have proved that diet is very, very key. For example, high intake of fat, high intake of, especially from saturated fats and trans fats. Trans fats are actually fats from processed oils, processed plant oils, or when oil is overheated. Sugar, high intake of sugar over a prolonged period predisposes a person to diabetes. For instance, somebody is just take every time soft drinks, and is not eating. It can precipitate diabetes. Let me just explain that. The hormone that helps control blood glucose is insulin. And this insulin is protein-based. It's made from protein. So if somebody, instead of eating a complete meal every day, soft drinks, this one, energy drinks here Say you are tired, I'm working. Are you working? You see the adverts on TV. Are you working? Are you tired? Just grab a bottle or a can of this and drink. You keep drinking this thing without eating well. What happens is that you are flooding your blood with glucose. Yet the protein that's you need to produce the insulin and things to help control the glucose is not there.
Let's do some election-related news now. Security analyst Dr. Kwesi Enin says the failure of political parties to punish their members and supporters who cause mayhem is escalating violence in the country. His comment comes a day after a violent confrontation between supporters of the governing National Democratic Congress and the opposition New Patriotic Party Sunday morning at the Nima residence of the NPP's flag bearer Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now we'll hear from him shortly, but first here's NDC Greater Accra Region Chairman Joseph Adekoka insisting the party's supporters pelted stones at the NPP because they were attacked first.
My capacity as the chairman of the party, and we in the region are saying, and hear me clear and loud, we can't allow our people in the region to be maltreated, pushed around, shot at. They come to us and we always appeal to them to be calm. We are asking the state authorities to take action immediately. We have every confidence in the state security. Those who are shooting out there, they know there's a state security. They know there's state law, and they violate it with impunity. And I've given you an example. We are not going to sit down for our boys, our members, to be harassed, around, shot at by the opposition party. And more so, today's incident, we had a peaceful walk, and they started shooting from his residence. Just like that. Just like that. Yes. Yes. So that is why we are here today. And I'm giving you pictorial evidence, and we are saying that we have every confidence in the state security. But if somebody slaps you once, and you give your cheek and he slaps again, then you are allowed to slap you. Nobody will intimidate NDC under my watch. Nobody will get that will intimidate NDC. We are peace-loving people. And like I said to you this morning, we had a peaceful march. And we did all of, and I keep telling you, they are the ones who keep stalking us. And they should advise their followers to stop stalking us. But if they continue stalking us, we also stalk them.
Well, the NPP disagrees. Acting Chairman Freddie Blaze says the NPP was first attacked. Now, he says the party has also warned its supporters they would be punished if they foment trouble. Meanwhile, Dr. Enin says various political parties have failed to address violent attacks adequately.
Well, I'm not too sure that the political parties over the last 18 months or so have shown a consistent interest driven by shared values, shared norms, and shared principles to isolate and to punish those of their members who flout the rules. And I'm happy the chair of one of the parties is in your studio. If you read the manifestos of all the political parties, none of them advocate any shift of violence, hate speech, abuse, intimidating language. So I think the top political official in your studio must help us with this. Why is it difficult for political parties to discipline their members whose behavior, sends a signal that is contrary to the party's principles and values? And I think this is a broader conversation that we shouldn't wait to have after the election. We should start having that conversation now. I know during the primaries there were certain instances of indiscipline, and both major parties disciplined some of the people who were involved. But I think we need to do much more across the country, saying, look, this is the only country that we have. This party does not support such behavior, and we will consistently punish those who flout the behavior so that it serves as a deterrent.
Now, following yesterday's clashes between supporters of the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress, President John Mahama says he will do his best to ensure that the environment for this year's polls is safe. Speaking at a breakfast meeting with business leaders, President Mahama stressed that peace and stability are very important for investment and growth of businesses, hence the need to safeguard them.
Yes, would be to maintain a consistent dialogue with the private sector so that on top of what the challenges you face are, and then we can see how to work to resolve them. But certainly one of the things that has made Ghana an attractive place for doing business is our stability and our democracy and the respect for rule of law. And it's something that we will continue to work at. Often when we get into an election, the political rhetoric ratchets up. I urge you not to be afraid or frightened that it is going to lead to any blow-up. I mean, Ghana, has a history of peaceful, transparent, and successful elections. And I believe that this 7th election under the 4th Republic is going to be no different. I'll play my part as President and Commander-in-Chief to ensure that we have a stable, secure environment for people to cast their ballots. And I believe that once the elections are over, the people of Ghana will decide who they want to lead them over the next 4 years, and whoever emerges, all of us must support the person. We need to watch world affairs and the way things are playing out with Brexit, with the US elections, Trump's surprise win against all the polls and all that, and to see how his worldview would affect America's relations with the rest of the world. I believe that things will settle. Often when you're outside government, you have a very simplistic view of things, and so you can just say, when I come, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this, I'll do that. When you get into office, you find that the realities are not as easy as you thought it was. I'll build a wall here, I'll do this here, I'll put a factory in every district, I'll build this everywhere. It's easy for you to say all these things when you're outside government. But when you come in and the reality catches up with you, then you realize that things are not as easy. And so, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me.
Today with me, Bernice Abu Baidu. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you some more stories. Please don't go away. Many thanks for staying here on Joy News. Today with me, Bernice Abu Baidu. Let's go back to that story about the clashes between NDC and NPP supporters at the residence of the NPP's flag bearer here at Nima in Accra. Well, the Accra Regional Police Command is assuring the general public that it is in control of the situation, and they are actually promising that they would make sure that the perpetrators are brought to book. Here is the PRO of the Ghana Police Service, ASP Cephas Arthur.
Preliminary investigation, as per piece of information we have picked around, which we are going to assess and synthesize and draw our final conclusion. What we have points to the fact that the supporters of the two political parties in the constituency had indicated their intention to hold health work yesterday. They had discussions about the health work with the community police. I mean the police command within the community, the Nima police. And so the various incidents had started taking place at their respective locations. And then when the supporters from the NDC got the stretch from the traffic light in front of the Nima police station up to the Nima runabout, when they got there, they broke out chaos when they got to the vicinity of the residence of the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. We have heard allegations of gunshots, and so have we heard allegations of stone throwing. Police went in to quell the situation and to ensure that normalcy was restored. In the aftermath of this, the police commenced investigation whereby the crime scene management team from the CID headquarters was invited to come and commence their own part of the investigation. This is where we are presently.
Okay, now you explained that both parties informed the Nima police station of their plans to have this health walk. Were their routes approved?
As per the little that I have gleaned for now, they discussed the entire exercise and everything was approved.
So would it be the accepted practice for the Nima police station to grant the NDC approval to have a health walk that takes them past the home of the flag bearer of the NPP? Would there not be any sort of security concern there?
Before I even answer directly, let me say that this is all part of the investigation that we are conducting, especially.
Now, away from that issue, public sector workers' unions to meet on whether or not to embark on their nationwide strike tomorrow. The 12 unions made up of teachers, civil servants, doctors, nurses, and many more threatened earlier to embark on a massive nationwide strike on the 15th of November, following delays by government to transfer the 5% Tier 2 monthly deduction. NAGRAT President Christiana Daipoku, in an interview with Joy News, says though they have seen some letters from the National Pension Regulatory Authority directing the Controller General's Department to pay Tier 2 contributions to their private fund managers, they are still not satisfied. He says the forum is expected to meet later to determine the way forward.
We have seen letters that have been written by the National Pensions Regulatory Authority asking Controller not to pay any money to their account again, but redirect everything to our custodial account. We have also seen a letter that they have written to the fund administrators asking them to take over the administration of the funds to make sure that they run. But it's not enough yet.
With these letters you are seeing, aren't you satisfied?
Not at all. We expect to see a letter from Ministry of Finance. That is the final authority that can instruct Controller and Accountant General's Department. We expect to see that instruction. And we also expect to meet and discuss how they are going to transfer the money already collected, and which is in the TPFA, so that we can have a holistic management of the scheme. The unions have decided to meet on the 16th, because the deadline is 15th. Exactly. So on the 16th, we are going to meet to assess the situation. And if it merits that we call for the strike as we have planned, we'll go ahead with it.
I know within this period that you've also been waiting that government will do something. There's been this discussion over how much exactly has been accrued in the temporary fund. Do you have information on that now?
No, we don't have the information. We get bits and pieces, as we all have been receiving from the Ministry of Employment.
How much is it? How much is it now?
We are talking of over 33 million Ghana cedis without the returns on the investment. But as I said, that is a statement from the Ministry of Employment. We have not seen the audited account that will tell us exactly what is in there and how much has accrued as returns. Until we see that, as for that, what we have heard, we have all just heard it. But to be able to make a firm statement and say that this is positive, we will need to get the audited reports.
At least you would say that the government has made some effort in addressing some of the concerns does it mean that tomorrow we are not going to see the 12 labor unions embarking on strike as you threatened some weeks ago?
Oh, tomorrow is the deadline to see that the first tranche is paid. And tomorrow is 15th. So by close of day tomorrow, we expect that the first tranche is paid into the account. That's the first thing. But that is not the end of the dispute.
So if you have this first tranche paid by tomorrow, what is the next step?
Still, the outstanding issues are still there. And so we have indicated clearly that we will meet on the 16th, that is a day after the deadline, to assess the entire situation and see the way forward. But let me say that we are not yet satisfied yet. We are not yet satisfied because we have not received what we really wanted. But as I said, we still have tomorrow to contend with. Maybe by the close of the day tomorrow, something positive will come out.
Well, before we go on, this break news just coming in is a number of people are feared dead after a long trailer crashed into them at Pokwase in Accra. Now, it's unclear what happened, and we are still trying to get some details on that particular story and bring it to you in our subsequent bulletins. Many thanks for staying here on Joy News today. Now let's get some updates on that story about a number of people feared dead after a long trailer crashed into them at Pokwase here in Accra. Ruth Helegbe is an eyewitness. Hello, Ruth. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, can you describe exactly what happened? Hello, Ruth. Well, while we wait for Ruth to respond, you can see some pictures on your screen of that incident that occurred at Pokwase. A long trailer crashed into some people who are now feared dead. Hello, Ruth, if you can hear me, can you briefly tell us what happened, how this accident occurred?
I'm online. I was trying to move away from the noise.
All right, but we can hear you clearly, so you can go ahead and tell us what happened.
Okay, I was actually I was in a car heading to Amasama myself, a friend. And then there was this long truck. It was carrying cement bags and then some onion bags. I think it was also heading on the same way. They were also going towards Nkoko. And then I think he had failed his brake. But however, he was on a very top speed. And then he crashed into several cars, a 207 truck, 3 Kia trucks, and then finally climbed on top of 3 private cars, a taxi and then other 2 private cars. But they are so mashed up in this. I can't really tell what sort of cars are they, whether they are a Toyota, a Nissan, or what have you. And all the people in the 3 vehicles are actually dead. But even currently, as I speak to you, they haven't been able to pull the truck away from the 3 trucks that they're actually standing on. But however, they've been able to pull out 3 dead bodies. They are all men, including the driver of the particular taxi that the trailer is standing on right now, but he's also dead.
All right, Ruth, now you talk about some dead bodies, but we know that it's only the police or only the police or health officials can confirm if they're really dead.
But we have the fire service, we have the military here, we have the ambulance.
But they are lifeless bodies. At least you can see that they look lifeless. All right. So what's happening now? What I can hear the siren. I'm sure, like you've mentioned, the emergency. Hello, Ruth. Can you hear me now? Well, we are struggling to communicate here because of the noise, obviously, in the background. But we'll stay on the story and bring you some updates in a subsequent bulletin. Well, that's how we end Joy News today here on Multi TV. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com.